In a world where people can vanish without warning, some disappearances remain unexplained for years, even decades, leaving behind families desperate for answers and communities haunted by silence. This video takes you through 10 chilling cases, each one an unsolved mystery that stretches across time and place, from the scorching Mojave Desert to the quiet streets of small towns, from the 1940s to the present day. These are not just names or headlines, but real people whose stories continue to echo through the years. Together, we'll explore the haunting details of their vanishings and the questions that still demand answers. Case 1. Under the scorching sun of the Mojave Desert, silence stretches for miles, broken only by the whisper of wind across endless dunes. In July of 2019, that silence swallowed 69-year-old Barbara Thomas. She had been hiking near Essex, California, with her husband. He claimed she walked just ahead of him, turned a bend, and then simply vanished. Search teams scoured the desert with dogs, helicopters, and volunteers. Days passed with no sign of Barbara. Weeks turned into months. Not a shoe, not a scrap of clothing, not even a footprint remained. The desert had erased her. And then, over a year later, bones were found scattered in the sand. They were hers. The official story suggested heat stroke or disorientation, but many whispered darker theories. Could someone close to her know more than they admit? In the Mojave, a place where secrets can be buried forever, Barbara's final moments remain a haunting enigma. Case 2. Almost half a century earlier, in Shreveport, Louisiana, 17-year-old David Claude Yeager vanished into the night of 1971. He was young, ambitious, and full of plans, yet his disappearance was quickly brushed off by authorities as just another runaway. But his family never believed it. David wasn't the kind of boy to leave everything behind. There were no sightings, no letters, no phone calls, nothing. Decades rolled by, and the silence grew louder. His cousin, clinging to hope, eventually created a Facebook page to bring attention back to the boy who vanished before the digital age even existed. If David was taken, his abductor has lived freely for over 50 years. Shreveport, a city bustling with life, still holds the shadows of that summer night when a teenager slipped away, perhaps not by choice. Case 3. In 1979, 19-year-old Cheryl Ann Scherer was working a routine shift at a small gas station in Scott City, Missouri. It was the kind of job where nothing ever happened until one night when everything did. Customers later said the station looked normal. The cash register hadn't been touched. Cheryl's car was still outside. But Cheryl herself was nowhere to be found. Some suspected a robbery gone wrong, others pointed to the possibility of an abduction. But why was there no sign of struggle? Could she have known her abductor? Was a stranger passing through responsible, someone whose name no one in Scott City ever knew? Her family was left with a hole in their lives that never closed, a mystery that still hangs in the air like cigarette smoke from the gas station pumps of that night. Case 4. Fast forward to Buffalo, New York, August 2020. 12-year-old Jalen Griffin disappeared into the shadows of his city. Police labeled him a runaway almost immediately, but his family insists otherwise. He was a boy full of life, still too young to navigate the dangers of city streets alone. His disappearance raises chilling questions. How does a child vanish in the age of surveillance cameras, cell phones, and digital footprints? There were no calls, no sightings, no traces. Some whisper about trafficking, others suspect he was lured away by someone he trusted. Jalen's case, dismissed too quickly, highlights a terrifying truth. When a child is mislabeled as a runaway, precious hours, sometimes days, slip away, and with them, the chance of rescue. Case 5. From the modern age, we slip back into 1945, when 33-year-old Mary Jane Van Gilder walked out of her life in Willard, Ohio, and never returned. It was just after World War II, a time when families were adjusting to peace after years of chaos. Records were sparse, police departments were overburdened, and missing adults often weren't prioritized. Some said she left voluntarily. Others suspected she was silenced by someone close to her. But in the 80 years since, her name has been tied to dozens of unidentified women across the country. Now, only science stands a chance of solving her fate. DNA testing may finally match her to a Jane Doe lying nameless in a grave, restoring her identity after decades of silence. Case 6. The Amish countryside of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, is a place where time feels slower, where simplicity reigns. But in June of 2020, horror touched this quiet community when 18-year-old Linda Stoltzfus disappeared while walking home from church. Witnesses would later recall a car, a struggle, a man forcing Linda inside. Police moved quickly, arresting Justo Smoker, charging him first with kidnapping, then with murder. But Linda's body has never been recovered. For the Amish, a people unaccustomed to violence, the crime shattered more than just one family. It broke the trust of a community. Even with her likely killer behind bars, there is no closure. Linda's absence lingers on the farm roads and church pews of Lancaster, a chilling reminder that even in the safest places, darkness can find a way in. Case 7. Christmas Day, 1996. While families across America gathered to celebrate, tragedy struck in Lavernia, Texas. 32-year-old Patty Vaughn argued with her estranged husband that morning. Hours later, she was gone. Her van was discovered abandoned, its tire slashed, bloodstains smeared inside. Yet, Patty was nowhere. Suspicion fell immediately on her husband, the last person to see her alive. But suspicion alone is not enough to bring charges. For nearly 3 decades, her case has remained frozen in time, a holiday marred forever. For her children, Christmas became not a season of joy, but an annual reminder of their mother's absence. Case 8. In Virginia, the mystery is multiplied. In 2005, 45-year-old Stephanie Wallace disappeared from Richmond. In 2011, 33-year-old Robert Horahan left for work but never arrived. His car was later found abandoned. And in 2014, skeletal remains of an unidentified man were discovered near Highland Springs. 3 disappearances, 3 unanswered questions, all within the same region. Coincidence? Or is there something more sinister threading through Virginia's missing? Each case stands on its own, but together they paint a troubling picture. People vanish, sometimes without a trace, and even in modern America, not every mystery is solved. Case 9. Far across the ocean, in the rugged Wanangata Valley of Victoria, Australia, Russell Hill and Carol Clay disappeared during a camping trip in 2020. What began as a secret getaway for 2 retirees ended in a scene of destruction. Their campsite was discovered burned, belongings destroyed. Investigators suspect murder, yet their bodies have never been found. Who would want to kill 2 people in their 70s? What secrets lie buried in that valley where wild beauty hides dark deeds? The mystery of Russell and Carol has gripped Australia, a reminder that even in remote wilderness, danger can find you. Case 10. And finally, in Ontario, Canada, the crisp air of September 1996 carries with it the memory of 15-year-old Melanie Ethier. She was walking home from a friend's house in the small town of New Liskeard when she vanished into the night. No one saw her taken. No one heard her scream. She simply disappeared. Her birthday falls on Christmas Day, a cruel twist that makes the holiday season unbearable for her family. Each year, they light candles, say prayers, and cling to hope. But decades later, hope grows thinner. Melanie remains frozen in time, forever 15, her fate unknown. 10 stories, 10 names: Barbara, David, Cheryl, Jalen, Mary Jane, Linda, Patty, Stephanie, Robert, Russell, Carol, Melanie. Each one vanished, leaving behind a trail of grief and questions. Some cases are cold as ice, others still smolder with suspicion. They span deserts, cities, small towns, and foreign valleys, but they share one terrifying truth. People can disappear without a trace, and sometimes the answers never come. Behind every missing face is a family that waits, prays, and pleads for closure. And until the truth is uncovered, their stories remain carved into the silence, unresolved mysteries that continue to haunt the living.